people coming through here. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that like button. Cut that out. Ooh, there you go. What's good? What's good? Good. Make sure you hit that like button when you come through here. We're gonna talk about the Houston Texans made some trade moves, and basically, was these trade moves worth it? Was it a good decision? We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. So I'm gonna let some more of y'all come through here real quick. I'm gonna let some more of y'all get up in here. Let some more of y'all get up in here real quick, and we can discuss and break down exactly what really just happened. Oh, well, not really just happened because it happened earlier today, but what happened? Uh, some of y'all come through real quick. That was good. Was good. Was good. Let me see in the like button when you come through here. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button. So the Houston Texans move out of the first round. They trade the 23rd overall pick, moved out of the first round, a trade with the Minnesota Vikings for pick 42. For pick 42, also got a sixth round pick, pick 188. Gave up the seventh round pick that they got back from the Sheldon Rankins trade. I'm not Rankins, Malik Collins. I'm sorry for the Malik Collins trade, and also picked up an additional second in next year's draft and completely traded out the first round. And I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. I don't know what they're doing. I really don't know what they're doing. Honestly, me personally, I don't like the trade. I put a poll. If you haven't got a chance to check out the poll, make sure you go check out the poll and vote. Put your decision. I got. Do you like the trade? Don't like the trade? Really doesn't matter, or you just gonna trust Nick's plan? I think the as last time I looked at 57%, it was trust Nick's plan. Uh, uh, um, 27% was didn't like it, and then the rest was like was a couple percent, like under 10% for both like the trade or don't matter. I think don't matter was the least at like 5%, uh, uh, um, something like that. So something to that effect. Uh, this is what I think. Like I said, me personally, like I said, I don't like the trade. Make sure you hit that like button. 'Cause I see more people than jumped up here. More people than jumped up in here. Make sure you hit that like button. Me honestly, I don't like the trade. Uh, my main issue with the trade is not even that you trade out of the first round. My main issue with the trade is that the trade was done a month and a half before the NFL draft. The NFL draft is April 25th. The first round is April 25th. Today's March 15th. Literally a month and 10 days. Well, I think it's actually a month and 11 days. Yeah, because March has 31 days. So yeah, a month and 11 days. A month and 11 days until the first round. Why did you feel the need to get out of it? Now I think my speculation. Well, I think Minnesota is trying to accumulate. Well, obviously not trying to. They did. Have accumulated first round picks because they want to jump up into the first. They want to jump up in the first round to go get a quarterback. If that's trade number one with the Bears, if that's trade number two with Washington, if that's trade number three with the Patriots. Because I've heard rumors that the Patriots don't even want to draft a quarterback. I heard rumors that the Patriots are willing to draft Marvin Harrison or draft Marvin Harrison at pick two. I mean, pick three. So I mean, that could be a situation where Minnesota jumps up to three and get a quarterback, and then give the Patriots those two first round picks, something similar to that, or still keep a first round pick for themselves. I don't know, but and don't have to give up future first rounds like the Carolina Panthers did, or we seen prior teams do before. Especially if you talk about jumping up the first pick in the draft, you don't have to give up three firsts or anything like that. So if you give up these two firsts this year. So I think maybe possibly that could potentially be the scenario, and I feel like maybe that the Vikings, because they need to accumulate the draft pick so they can move up in the first round. They basically call Nick Casario with a take it or leave it type situation. Like, hey, I got this deal on the table right here, but it's a one time offer. Either you accepting it or we go away. And I know because people have been saying that maybe maybe he's looking and he doesn't really like the pool of players at the number 23. Now, majority of us fans, we want the Texans to draft. We want the Texans to draft a receiver at pick 23. We want to get CJ some more weapons. Uh, so that's what a lot of people been saying, and we all been saying. We've been it's a deep receiver. I've been hearing this all the time. It's a deep receiver class. It is. Oh, you can get receivers in the second. Oh, you can get receivers in the third. Like we've been hearing this like basically since the middle of college football season that this class was going to be a very very deep receiver class, one of the deepest receiver class that we've seen probably since 2020, which is the most recent deep receiver class that we've seen, because that's the class with Jettas and Ayuk and T. Higgins and Pittman and CeeDee Lamb and stuff like that, and even Jerry Jeudy and Henry Ruggs was in that class, and stuff like that. I think even Claypool was in that class later on. I know those guys, especially Henry Ruggs and Claypool, end up falling off or in other situations happen, but they did look talented at the time. The same thing with Jerry Jeudy. But so that was the 2020 draft class, and this class could be just as good, if not better. So you can get good deep receivers anywhere in the draft. Cool, understand all that. But my thing is because people are saying like maybe you don't like maybe like he feels comfortable with getting those same receivers in the second round. My only issue with that, like this, my whole issue with them trading right now on March 15th. I mean, that you don't know what's gonna happen at pick 23. Like you don't know what's the sit up here and say that you don't like the pool of players or the pool of receivers at pick 23, or it's gonna be just as good as the guys you can get in the second round. How could you say that today on March 15th when it's a month and a half before the NFL draft? Like it's a month and like I said, it's a month and 11 days before the NFL draft. You don't know what's about to happen. Players ain't had they not everybody even had their pro days yet. They brought people in for meetings and things like that. So you don't know what pool of players for any position, even if you're not talking about getting a receiver, if you're talking about getting a corner, a defensive lineman, anything, you don't know what's gonna happen until the draft day and see what happens at pick 23, and also to see how the draft board falls. So I would much rather this trade would have occurred on the draft day. Now again, like I just said, it could have been a situation where Minnesota offered this draft capital, but it was a one-time offer because Minnesota has urgency because they are trying to put themselves in situations to draft a quarterback. So like I said, it kind of was a take or leave, and he didn't want to, I guess, be quote unquote holding the bag as far as holding pick 23 because we can get to draft day. Because just like how I said, you don't know who's going to be there at 23 on draft night. You also don't know if somebody wants to jump up and trade because it might be a situation where nobody wants to jump up and trade. Me personally, I would have preferred that anyway. I would have rather them pick at pick 23. I said it. I've been saying that. I felt like the Texans were going to jump back. I said this during the season. I was like, I got feeling a stronger feeling that the Texans, especially when it was apparent that our draft pick was going to be in the playoffs because you seen what Cleveland was doing. You seen that they were going to go to the playoffs. That I could see the Texans either jumping up or jumping back, and I think that jumping back would be the favorite. I didn't feel like they were going to stay at pick 23. I thought they were either going to jump up or jump back, and I thought that jump back would be the favorite, followed by followed by staying pat, and then jumping up would be the last option. But I really kind of didn't feel like they'll jump back. I mean, that they would stay at pick 23 until after the season ended and everything. The season ended, how we played and everything like that. Okay, I think pick 23 is a good spot, and I still think pick 23 is a good spot. I still feel that they could potentially try to jump back because we at this time we didn't have a fifth or a sixth round pick, and I think our fourth round pick we have two fourths because come into the situation we had first pick 23, second pick 59. I forgot what our third round pick is. I have it written down here somewhere. Hold on. I bet y'all. No, actually, I, no, I just have what our other picks were. It was pick. It was pick 20. It was pick 23, pick 59. I don't have my third. I think it's pick 88. And then we had two fourth round picks, and one of our fourth round picks, our last fourth round picks, was pick 128. Our next pick was into the seventh round at pick 236. Over 100 players were going to get drafted before we were made a selection from the fourth to the seventh round. That's why I believe that they were going to try to jump back and accumulate a fifth or sixth round pick. And shout out to Big Steve for the super chat love, man. Definitely appreciate that. What if we get Snead? What do we give up? We'll give the Chiefs. I don't know. I'm getting that. I'm getting the trading players. I mean, I don't know exactly what Snead would cost. I would think I would think the Snead would garner a first round pick. Honestly, but I am going to get into. I'm glad you mentioned that because I am going to get into that. Going to say I don't know exactly what they were going to do. Uh, um, but that's why I felt like I knew that he was going to. And I say shout out to Big Steve for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. I definitely think that that they was going to trade back to get a sixth or fifth or sixth round pick. But again, I didn't think they would do it until draft day because you don't know how the draft board falls. And like I say, I really don't know what they're gonna do because there's been speculation about like Big Steve just said about trading up. I mean trading to go get Snead. It's been speculation that the Texans are in the market to make a move. If it's you hear names like T. Higgins, you hear names like Brandon Ayuk, you've even heard names like Stephon Diggs, and then also yeah I've heard Snead too. I would think that Snead will garner a first round pick, honestly. So I don't know if that's the situation. Obviously, you're not trading the first round pick for Stephon Diggs. He's a guy who's 31. He's 31 years old. Coming up like the last 5 games of the season were a downer. Um, what it wasn't a good last 5 games. So the last games of the season was a downer. So I don't know. I just don't know exactly what that garners. I don't know exactly what that really does going. I really don't know. Uh, Also you got like I said, you got Brandon Ayuk, who I think could Brandon Ayuk is like I think he's on that fringe. He could go for a first round pick, or he couldn't go for a first round pick. And then when you talk about guys like T Higgins, I don't think T Higgins garners a first round pick to give up. I don't think you got to give up a first round pick for T Higgins because T Higgins' best season is not even better than the season that Nico Collins had last year. So even though he's under the franchise tag, he has asked for a trade, demanded a trade, and if the Texans did actually end up getting T Higgins, like CJ is literally like Joe Burrow. That's funny that like they he's his. I've always comped him to Joe Burrow, and now he has his weapons. He'll have Joe Mixon, and now also had T Higgins. So that's kind of funny, and ironic if they did make a pull off a trade for that. But guys who've been traded, like receivers have been traded before. Stephon Diggs in 2020 was traded for a first round pick, a fifth round pick, and a sixth round pick, and then the following year's fourth round pick. That same season, his first season, the Bills made it to the AFC Championship game. Stephon Diggs had over 1,500 yards. Tyreek Hill was traded for a first, a second, a fourth, in the following years, fourth and sixth, had back-to-back 17,000 yard seasons. AJ Brown. AJ Brown was on draft day though. He was traded on draft day. Was traded for a first and a third. The Eagles went to the Super Bowl, lost in the Super Bowl. AJ Brown had a 1,400 yard season. So you could see a situation where they can go out there and, especially if to me, if they did go that route of a T Higgins, a Brandon Ayuk, or Stephon Diggs, they value a veteran receiver presence more so than drafting a rookie because again, drafting anybody is like buying a used car. You don't really know. Like we got good ideas. We seen what happened in college. We seen the tape. We studied. We do all this stuff like that. But we seen plenty of people ball in college and not do anything in the NFL. You just really don't know. Look at Quentin Johnson last year. Quentin Johnson, at one point in time before the draft, Quentin Johnson was thought of the best receiver in that draft by some people. By some people's standards, Quentin Johnson was one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in the draft. And we see exactly what happened last year. Lackluster. Now, he definitely has to step it up because the Chargers just got rid of Keenan Allen. And I'm about to mention that. The reason why I mention that is because a lot of us want receivers. But I have a question. What if Nick Casario and D'Amico Ryans both? Because it's a package deal. I don't think Nick Casario is going rogue. Obviously, D'Amico Ryans knows and understands what's going on with this trade, with friends and stuff like that. He's not just doing stuff just because he wants to and leaving D'Amico Ryans out in the dark. Like D'Amico Ryans out in the dark in the cold somewhere he don't know what's going on, and Nick Casario's just acting rogue and just doing what he's doing. No, Nick Casario is talking over with D'Amico Ryans. I have a feeling, especially when you talk about offense, I'm pretty sure Bobby Slowick is in that meeting as well. Wouldn't surprise me if CJ's in there as well. And I also believe Cal's in there as well. I don't think Cal's just sitting in the dark either. You know, I think he is letting these people do their job. I do think that Cal is in the room and understands and kind of knows exactly what's going on. CJ might not be so much because he's a player and was a rookie, but those other guys more so, especially like I say, especially Nick and D'Amico. They're definitely in the room. Bobby Slowick may or might not be. Who knows how much Cal's involved because he's just the owner, and also the same thing with CJ. But they might feel that they're okay with the receiver position, even though a lot of us want receiver, especially with that pick, the 23rd pick, because just going by what happened, especially in free agency, receivers were receivers were on the board from free agency side. Receivers didn't get started taking off the board to like day 3 of free agency. The only receiver that the Texans signed was re-signing Noah Brown. Hollywood just went to the Kansas City Chiefs. They wasn't in the market for Gabe Davis. They wasn't in the market for Curtis Samuels. They wasn't in the market for Calvin Ridley. We just seen the Bears just trade for Keenan Allen. Now I know Mike Williams is out there, but Mike Williams is coming off a torn ACL. They didn't go out there and get a receiver and add to this roster. And again, I thought 23 would be prime position for a receiver. Maybe they don't value receiver the way that we value receiver. Maybe they value because they wasn't able to get a real good DT because Armstead ended up getting signed to the Jags and they ended up getting settled from the Buffalo Bills. A good rotational piece. It got what you call it, archery, but we don't know exactly what they want to do at DT, and they might not got to have their guy at DT, so they might look at it like, hey, at pick 23, the DT that we might want at 23 more than likely be off the board, and this is kind of high to draft a DT. So maybe we get this offer from Minnesota. I like the value of the DTs in the second round, and we also picking up an additional second. I can do that. Because who knows? Even though we've been saying it's a deep receiver class and we want to get receivers, they might not value receiver like that. They might more so value cornerbacks more so because again, as of right now, our 2 starting corners is Stingley and what you call it, Jeff Okuda, which I got a video coming out about Jeff Okuda as well. But 2 guys who have yet to play a full season of their career. Now Stingley's only been in the league for 2 years. Okuda's been in the league since 2020. He's been in the league for 4 years. Neither one of them have played a full season of an NFL career. 2 guys who were the 3rd pick in the draft, but neither one of these guys have played a full season. Also, in your safety department, you have Petrie, who had a struggling year the previous year, but you also have Jimmy Ward, who's a veteran, who also didn't play a full season. At least on the offensive side of the ball, when it comes to receivers, you have young ascending talent. Like Nico just had the best season of his career, eighth most yards of everybody in the NFL from the receiver standpoint. Like I said, more productive than T. Higgins and some of these other guys that we see right here. More productive than Stephon Diggs and stuff like that. Also, the Tank. Tank was in the run, and Tank was in the mix for potentially being. Now again, he wasn't going to win Rookie of the Year because of the rookie throwing the football to him, but he was in the mix for rookie. He would have been in the if he was stay healthy. He could have been in the mix for Rookie of the Year. He had over 7 yards and was it 8 touchdowns, 7 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns before he ended up getting hurt. Well, a couple games left to go in the season. You traded up 2 years ago to get Mechie, and really, who knows? Even though this was really Mechie's first full year of being healthy. And maybe they feel good about Mitchell. Maybe they feel good about Hutchinson and stuff like that. So who knows? Maybe they feel good about the receiver position. I disagree. Me personally, I disagree. It's just a difference of opinion. That might be their opinion, and they might be how they feel. I disagree with it because I do think that we need help on the receiver position because Nico, again, he's a guy who's never played a full season, even though he had a tremendous season this year. He hasn't played a full season. Hasn't played a full season yet. He's a guy who's going to be on the contract yet. Is it a Jonathan Gennard situation where he has another good year? You end up having to let him go. You never know. Also, I want another receiver outside of that because when Tank went down, no one really was able to get separation consistently. Nico got separation, but it wasn't consistent like the way that Tank was able to, because how good Chris Robert and the Tank is, he's able to get open consistently. You've seen it in the Ravens game during the playoffs, right then and there, about not able to get consistent separation. So you never really know. So I want, and again, I want my quarterback C.J. Stroud to have an embarrassment of riches. I want him to have a Joe Burrow situation, a Brock Purdy situation, a Tua situation, a Jalen Hurts situation, a Justin Herbert situation. I want him to have weapons everywhere he looks. Running backs, quarterbacks, tight ends, receive. I want him to have an embarrassment of riches, so he's able to go out there and ball. I know a lot of people say, "Hey man, we don't need those type of receivers, man, because hey, CJ so good that he could elevate everybody." Like, so y'all cool with those other guys. And again, CJ, I do think that CJ's like that. CJ can't elevate those talents. I agree with you, but I would want him to help elevate again. If he can elevate okay to good, if you give him good, he can elevate it to great. If he get great, he can elevate it to all time. That's what I want. I want him to have a complete embarrassment of riches. Me personally. Same thing, talent pool at pick 23. We could like I would have much rather, like I say, this would have occurred on draft day. I'm gonna be honest with you. Even at pick 23. If we would trade on draft day, I still wouldn't like the trade. I don't like the trade either way it goes, honestly, because I like who you could have got at 23. And again, that might just be a difference of opinion because but at very least, if it would happen on draft day, and he's at pick 23, and he decides to trade out of the first round, trade back to the second. Again, I might not like the trade, but at the very least, I understand that. Like, okay, yeah, he's looking at this pool of talent, or he's looking at how the draft is falling, how the fluctuation of the draft, and who's being drafted, who's being taken off the board, and things like that. That yeah, I'm cool on the value when I get at 23. I'd rather go and get I'll pick up an additional second in next year's draft and never and can use that for any type of situation via trade, anything like that, and jump back and get guys in the second round. Again, I might disagree with it because I have a difference of opinion because I actually like the guys in the first round, and especially when you talk about the receivers, I like Worthy and AD and Brian Thomas and Keon Coleman and Troy Franklin. Even though I think that Keon Coleman and Troy Franklin more than likely end up in the second round, especially Troy Franklin. I think Troy Franklin's going to end up in the second round. I like those guys a little bit more than the guys from what you call the guy from Georgia, a legend from South Carolina, and no Tez Walker from North Carolina. What's his name? Polk from Washington. It's another receiver too. I mean, again, even though it is a deep receiver class and there's good receivers in this class, I do like those other guys. Me personally, I like those other guys more. I like those other guys more. So like I said, it could be a difference of opinion, but at the very least, I can understand it. As it stands right now today, I don't understand it because you a month and a half away from the draft. You don't know what's about to happen. At least you don't know who's going to be there at pick 23. Rome could fall the pick 23. Terrion Arnold could fall to pick 23. Wiggins could fall to pick 23. There's so many other guys who could fall to pick 23 that if I'm like, I might not want to move because I like what happened at pick 23. So that's why I don't understand why you didn't do it, but why you did it this early. Again, but I do think it's because Minnesota has urgency to try to jump up into the top five to get a quarterback. So it was a deal that was either take it or leave it type situation. And again, to the point of trading for these guys, like the receivers I named, like I think Brandon Ayuk is a fringe guy. He could go for a first round pick, maybe, maybe a second round pick. I don't think T. Higgins is worth going for a second round pick. I know Stephon Diggs is not because Stephon Diggs is 31 years old and he has a huge contract. I don't think that he's going for a first round pick. Uh, and then Snead to your question about Snead. I mean, I would love that. I think if you get Snead and you have Snead and what you call it Stingley, you have a dangerous secondary. I don't know what Snead's going for. I don't know if the Chiefs will garner a number one overall, a number one pick. And, or I mean, I don't know if they'll take a number two pick. I don't know. And then also we see them clearing up cap space. So who knows? Maybe a move is on the way. Maybe the move. No. He's well. I mean, I guess that he is a restricted free agent. He's on the franchise tag. I just don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to draft those two players, package it, jump up, which wouldn't make any sense. I've even heard this. Well, maybe they could jump up in the back half of the first round if they move from pick 23 to pick 42 and then trade pick 42 to move back up into like pick 28 or 9 or 30, why they didn't just stay at pick 23 and just move back? Like it's too much. It's too much 3D chess. Like it's too much 3D chess in this. It's definitely confusing me. It's maybe like what is going on? Like what is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Like it's definitely doing that. If you doing jump back and jump forward, and just, I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna trade. I don't know if they're gonna draft. I don't know if they're gonna sign. Like I say, the only receiver really of note on free agency is Mike Williams, coming off a torn ACL. And then Mike Williams has injury issues himself. So you just pairing him up with Nico again. Like again, I don't know, but again, I think that might be just very simple that the Texans don't really value receiver that highly. That's why, because we've been talking about how 23 is a prime position for receiver. They might not value receiver as a need that highly. They might look at, because DT is definitely a need. So who knows? Maybe they'll draft a DT. Maybe they'll draft Sweat at UT. And obviously, you weren't gonna take Sweat in the first round. You're gonna take him in the second. Who knows? He might not be there, because I think our other second round pick is pick 59. So it's a late second round pick. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they'll get what's his name, McConkley, the receiver out of Georgia, Legend, anything like that. Like say, like I just seen somebody say Troy Franklin. I think Troy Franklin has the best separation in this draft. Uh, Honestly, I Troy Franklin gets behind the defense, and I'm not talking about gets behind the defense because of the speed. I'm talking about like Troy be routing boys up. And that's something that could be very very dangerous, to a dangerous element to add to this offense. Uh, I just really like the AD, and just thinking about AD on this team, bro. I really did, bro. I just really, like, again. Like I said, Keon might be my favorite receiver in the draft, but like AD just felt like he was a Houston Texan. AD just felt like he was a Houston Texan. It felt like everything you need. The guy who was like he's 6'3", like 210 pounds, ran a 4.39. No, it wasn't even a 4.39. I'm sorry. It wasn't a 4.39. 4.35. 4.34. I'm sorry. Yeah. Six two 205, ran a 4.34. Like I just thought that'd just be like, man, just adding that just be dangerous. That's nasty work. It's just nasty work. And a guy who I felt like, who, even if you weren't able to come to terms with Nico, you weren't able to get a conversation and get something done with Nico Collins, that you got a guy who could potentially take over and be the number one or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I like the guy. I like the guy play with neighbors at LSU. Yeah, Brian Thomas. I don't. Now the thing is, I don't think Brian Thomas is gonna be there at pick 23. I had a feeling that Brian Thomas would get elevated, because now the Chargers are gonna draft a receiver. Chargers going to draft a receiver. Jacksonville might draft a receiver now. I see more people than jumped up in. I mean, make sure hitting that like button. I mean, I know the Texans trade away the picks, but you ain't got to trade away the likes. You ain't got to trade away the likes, man. Hit the like button, man. Appreciate y'all coming through here on this Friday evening, but make sure you hitting that like button, man. Make sure you hitting that like button, man. Make sure you hitting that like button, man. Shout out to all my boys out there in Soft Sports, all my boys at the round table, man. My boy Honcho, boy Wise, Wink, Hector, Ray, Tenny. Shout out to all my boys. Shout out to Soft Sports. You already know what it is. I'm late. Why you think? I'm late. Why you think we trade our picks? I don't know. That's the short answer. I really don't know, and it's crazy to me, because it's a point that I really don't have an answer. I don't know. My best guess is that Minnesota is trying to jump up to the top five to potentially draft a quarterback, and they know they need the additional first, and they called the Texans, and it was a situation like, because they're trying to get these picks before the draft starts. And obviously they're trying to jump up into, so one, they're trying to know where they're at in the first round, so they know exactly which quarterbacks to evaluate and stuff like that. So they're trying to get this done as soon as possible. and it's a situation where they basically told the Texans like, "Hey, this is a one time offer. Like, either take it or leave it." Like, and Nick Casario looked at what he potentially values and looks at the board and like, you know what happened more than likely is going to happen. I'm probably not going to. I'm probably not going to like the pool of players here at pick 23, and I don't know if this deal will be here on the 23rd. I mean, on April 25th, like from either this team or another team. I'm gonna just take this deal. I like this deal. I'm gonna just take this deal. Uh, it could have been a situation like that. That's the one thing I really think it is. Hey man, hey, shout out to boy Brian for super chat love. I've been blowing up on I've been blowing up on Facebook when something happened. Oh, you be blowing me up on Facebook when something happened. Man, shout out to Brian for super chat love. Definitely appreciate that, man. Hey, I need to relog onto my Facebook. Honestly, like I really don't be getting on my Facebook like that, man. But appreciate you blowing me up on Facebook, man. Let me know when something happened. My bad, bro. I really don't get on Facebook like that. But hey, man, appreciate the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Uh, but yeah, like that's what I'm thinking. Like that. Like that's what I'm thinking. I think it was more of so for like I said, take it or leave it type situation. And he looked at the pool and like, hey, I might not like this pool of players. I like go ahead, let me get this value and let me move and get these picks. Again, I don't like it. I disagree. The main reason why I don't like it is because you don't know what's going to happen a month and a half from now, and that works in your favor and against you as well because it also works that you know if a trade like this will be on the table, and and you don't like these pool players, and the a deal like that is not on the table. So I get it, I understand it, but I just disagree with it. I really disagree with it. Yeah, I just really disagree with it. Honestly, yeah, I really just disagree with it. Like, make sure in that like button. I see more people jumped up in here. Make sure in that like button. I just really disagree with it. Honestly, I really do. I just really honestly disagree with it. Me personally, I don't agree with it. Oh man, my light about to go out. But yeah, me personally, like I said, I disagree with it. I don't agree with it. I think what we should have done was wait to draft day. And again, I still wouldn't agree with it then. But at least you know what players fall because you don't know what players are or are not going to fall. Like you don't know what players are going to fall. Turn this light on. Yeah, you don't know what players are or not going to fall. Like you don't know what players going to fall. So me personally, I don't agree with it because you don't know what players are or not going to fall. I would have much rather. I would have much rather I would much rather us wait to draft day. And again, even still, because on draft day, I like the value of the guys that pick 23. Me personally, I do. Like I said, and I think that's more so of a difference of opinion when it comes to me and Nick Casario and how they viewing things. And again, but also, like I said earlier, I also value the receiver position, and I feel like that's something that We should draft at pick 23. I'm thinking more and more, especially as I've talked and talked to other people and stuff like that. I feel more and more that might not be the case for Nick Casario. That Nick Casario might not like the receiver, might not value getting a receiver as much as me and other people tend to. That we might value drafting a receiver or acquiring a receiver or adding a receiver to the Texans. We might value that more than Nick Casario does. Because if you go back and look at what they've done, like I say, via free agency, they haven't. Not only have they not signed anybody, the Texans haven't been in rumors or talk like they was in the Saquon market or they was in the Carl Watkins market. Oh, it was a rumor they had a deal on the table for Armstead. They tried to trade for Armstead. Oh, and also we was in the Austin Eckler, like other people who we missed out on or didn't sign or anything like that. we've been in they show a link or we've been interested or something like that. We tried to get into the conversation late. We signed no receiver outside re-signing Noah Brown. Hollywood goes off the table. I ain't hear us was in on Hollywood. Calvin Ridley is off the table. I ain't hear us going after Calvin Ridley. Gabe Davis, and here's what's going about Gabe Davis. Uh, what's his name? Curtis Samuel, and here's about Curtis Samuel. Um, Keenan Allen just got traded. I didn't hear that we was in a rumor to trade for Keenan Allen, or we was talking to the Chargers for Keenan Allen. So I feel like I feel like it's another receiver that was free. I don't know. I feel like it was another receiver. I mean, obviously, what you called it was re-signed before free agency even started. I feel like it was another receiver that was. Oh, Deontay Johnson got traded. I didn't hear that we was in talks with Pittsburgh to trade for Deontay Johnson. Like all these other guys, same thing with what's his name for Jared Judy. Jared Judy got traded. I ain't hear that we was in talk for Jared Judy. Yeah, Mooney. We need I all these other receivers. I never heard that the Texans were in the conversations for these guys. But all other positions, we've heard them to be in the conversation for guys and missed out on them. I've never heard that the Texans were really in any type of conversations or linked to any of these receivers that were either signed or traded. And I was like, and I took that as, oh, because we had picked 23, it's a loaded receiver. That's been my whole thing. Oh, it's a loaded receiver draft class. You can get receiver. Man, this draft class is so loaded. You don't need to be in these rumors. You don't need to be in rumors of trade for you could trade for we don't need to even be in these rumors, because we don't need to go there. Man, we can go out there and pick 23 and draft a receiver. But obviously, we're not now. I know we're hearing rumors now about Stephon Diggs. I think some of that might be just like fan stuff because I mean I seen artwork all the time. Like I seen artwork of Stephon Diggs and Brandon Ayuk, and I seen artwork of them in Texan jerseys before the season ended. Like I've been seeing stuff like that. So I mean, some of that I think might be some type of just speculation. I think also a lot of times, especially when it comes to this trade. Because because that's the first thing that okay, maybe they're going after a big time player. Maybe they're going to trade for a big time player. Maybe they're going to trade for a big time. Maybe they're going to trade for a big time player. Since they jumped out of the first round, which to me, like I don't know why did you have to jump out of the first round to do that though. Like, because if you trade for Brandon, if you trade for Stephon Diggs and like you give up like a fourth, because that's what Chicago gave up to get Keenan Allen. So you give up a fourth because Keenan Allen another 31-year-old receiver like Stephon Diggs, and you pay the fourth. Why did you have to give up your first? Why did you have to move your first to the second round to give up your fourth? That doesn't make any sense. Same thing with drafting trading the twos to go out and get T Higgins or anybody. Like, why do you have to give up your first? Like, why do you need this accumulation of twos to move third and fourth round picks? Like, I don't know. I don't really know, or and that's why I say I don't know. I don't really understand what the plan is. I don't know. And I say the majority of people say they trust Casario, and that's cool and all. But I mean, I just don't know. Like and I said, if you haven't, once the stream is over, make sure y'all go to the community wall, and the surveys up there or poll is up there to vote. It's I like the trade. The poll is like the trade, don't like the trade, don't matter, or you're just gonna trust Nick Caserio's plan. And I think the majority last time I checked was like at 57, 55% was they were gonna just trust Nick Caserio's plan. Yeah, okay. I think that's a flawed logic because just because you got Nico and Tank in the third round in other years draft and Mechie in the second round to say that to say that you just want to draft those type of receivers. Every draft is different. One and two. By that logic, I mean the Patriots not gonna draft a quarterback because they got Tom Brady in the sixth round or whatever it was. So we're just gonna wait till the sixth round and draft Tom Brady. Like or like 49ers, hey, we're gonna wait to Mr. Irrelevant the draft for quarterback from now on. Like I don't agree with that. And like every draft is different. Like it's just like you get Hall of Fame running backs in the third and fourth round or undrafted free agents, but running backs still go in the first round because sometimes Chris McCaffrey's in the draft, or Ezekiel Elliott is in the draft, or who's another good running back that's been drafted in the first round. No, Christian McCaffrey. Somebody else went in that draft, but like, I know Leonard Fournette went first, but I feel like it was another running back that got drafted in that 2017 draft too. They got drafted high. I know Nick Chubb went in the second round. Saquon Barkley is a first round pick. I know Derrick Henry is a second round pick. I mean, and sometimes you hit on second round guys, and then also those guys fail for different reasons. I feel like if Tank was a was a about 4 inches taller, Tank is a first round pick. I feel like Nico. Remember, Nico didn't play his last year. Like Nico didn't play his last year in Michigan because of COVID. That was the COVID year. That was the year that in 2020 was his last year in Michigan. He opted out. He didn't play that year. Just like how with Jamar Chase ain't played because Jamar Chase opted out. Jamar Chase ended up going in the first round because Jamar Chase was was known because national championship, Joe Burrow, Heisman, all type of stuff like that. Uh, Nico played on a okay Michigan team. It wasn't a great Michigan team. I don't know if Nico really got any run like that, but I do think if Nico would have played, cause I like Nico coming out of the draft. I think if Nico would have played his last year, like if it was a regular season, like it wasn't the COVID situation, if it was just a regular college football season, and Nico would have played that final year, Nico probably would have went before the third round. I could see Nico going somewhere in the second, possibly late first, because of with guy 6'4", 200 and like 220 pounds, and ran a 4.44. Like I could see him going in the first round. I mean he definitely could have definitely win the first round, especially if he had a productive final year. I see more people jumped up in here. Make sure hitting that like button. More people jump in here. Appreciate hitting that like button, man. Come on, appreciate y'all hitting that like button. But uh so I really don't agree with that that's his motto of drafting receivers late. I think more and more that he probably just doesn't really value receiver like that. And I do think, I mean, again, DT is a hole. Safety uh, um is a potential hole. I definitely think that the opposite corner is a hole as well. And maybe because at least at the receiver position you have somewhat answers because you have Tank and Nico. However we feel about Tank and Nico, at the very least you feel more solid about Tank and Nico versus Stingley and whatever you get the second in the second corner, and then Ward and Petrie, just whatever you get with either one of them. Petrie had a bad year last year. Jimmy Ward was hurt and he's older, so like at least with Nico and Tank, two guys who were young who looked very productive. Their arrow is trending up. Your corner, your safety, arrow outside Stingley is not really trending up. It's more so just right there. And then DT is a question mark. So I could definitely see him looking at these other positions and these other slots, saying that they're way bigger holes, and it makes more sense to secure them than receiver. The receiver's not an issue. We're finding receiving again. Think it's a difference of opinion because I disagree. Even though what I stated is true about their arrow trending up and everybody else outside Stingley arrow is either trending down or just stagnant. I do think that you want to make sure that your quarterback has all the weapons around him that you want him to have an embarrassment of riches. You see all these other teams going out there getting quarterbacks. You see, and the thing is, we used to laugh at mock drafts. Like everybody in the Discord, shout out to everybody to be in the Discord. We used to laugh when we be looking at mock drafts and we saying like they got the Texans drafting a third, got the Texans drafting an offensive lineman or a linebacker or a DT or our first three picks, and we don't draft no receivers, and we like, man, so CJ, the only quarterback don't get no weapons, huh? And they just doing that because we got defensive minded head coach. They don't really know what the Texans are gonna do. And true, they really don't know what the Texans are gonna do because we proved that last year that they don't know what the Texans are gonna do. However, they might be on to something as far as how the Texans feel about the receiving group. Now again, this could be complete bull. The Texans could draft two receivers in the second round. The Texans could go out there and and trade for T Higgins or Brandon Ayuk, and I could be looking completely foolish with this little segment right here, but I'm starting to think more and more that they don't value receiver the way that we hoped, thought they would, in the way we do. That's more so what I'm starting to feel. I was ready for Brian Thomas or Mitchell, but again, Xavier Leggett or Franklin would be nice, and Sweat beside Foskey. I mean, again, I like Leggett. I like Leggett. Leggett's cool and all. I really do like Troy Franklin. Troy Franklin was one of my top five receivers. I do like Troy Franklin. I just think that he's gonna fall into the second round because of the combine, how good everybody else around him had. Uh, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I don't even know if they're drafting. Like I said, I'm to the point now. I'm starting to think more and more and more. I don't think they're drafting a receiver. I don't again, but like I said, I really honestly do not know. But I do know this. More people have jumped up and hit the lights ain't going nowhere. Make sure you hit the like button now. Come on. Come on now. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button. That's why he gets the big bucks. Slowick is a very smart guy. He knows what he's doing. Slovic? You talking about Slovic or you talking about Casario? Because Slovic is the one making the trades. I guess Casario wants to allow that is true. He could be doing that. Run back in the third, maybe. Could be Casario. No. That could be true. Don't, man. Don't. I mean, Nico, Tank, Noah Brown, Hutchinson, Woods, Mechie. Woods, Mechie, and Hutchinson really didn't give you a lot because, again, everybody missed time except Mechie and Hudson. Mechie and Hudson, the only two receivers that played all the games. Everybody else not only missed time, they missed time multiple times. Like Nico missed time early in the season, they ended up missing that Jets game and that Titans game. Tank missed time. He got concussion in the Falcons game. Missed the game against the Saints, and then obviously against the Broncos got hurt and missed the rest of the season. Noah Brown got missed time in the beginning of the season, came back, played, and then missed time at the end of the season. Same thing with Robert Woods. Robert Woods missed time like in the middle of the season, then ended up missing time at the end of the season. No, both Mechie and Hutchinson. One's a rookie. One's a guy who is basically his rookie year because his original rookie year was coming off of cancer and also I think an ACL injury when he came out of Alabama. These guys have all had time to be on the field without other guys being on the field, especially like the Jets game, the Titans game. I know the Titans game a little bit different because they didn't have C.J. Stroud. Same thing with the Browns game, but these guys had a lot of time. Also had playoff time as well, and they really didn't show you anything. They didn't show anything, and also they couldn't stay on the field. And I don't even mean stay on the field because they was hurt. They couldn't stay on the field as far as calling plays. They were constantly getting taken out the field outside of blocking situations or jet sweeps. I don't know if they didn't understand the offense. It was something I feel like they didn't like in practice that was going on. But I do agree that maybe Nick and D'Amico both do want to lean more on the defense to win football games and the offense to do what it do. Who knows? Maybe they feel like a lot of fans feel that CJ just that good that he can elevate everybody. Again, I disagree with that sentiment. Not saying that he can't elevate everybody. I disagree with that being a good logical plan. Like I don't like the fact that plan is a good logical plan. I don't think that's a good logical plan. I don't buy that. To me personally, I don't buy that. At this point, do you feel like we should get Tyler Boyd? I feel like we should. The thing is, I want us to sign another receiver and draft another receiver and draft a receiver at 23. So, like, I thought that we would have went out there and got another receiver, but the indication of you not signing a receiver to me told me that we were definitely drafting a receiver and we was gonna draft a receiver high. Now I don't know what to think. Like I'm being honest, and this is one of the rare times when I'm talking about the Texans where I absolutely have zero clue. Like I absolutely have zero clue. Was the Deshaun situation? I had an idea. I had an idea what they thought what I thought they were gonna do. At first, I thought they wasn't gonna trade him, and then with the allegation, okay, yeah, they're definitely gonna move on from him. I thought that what they were gonna do with the first pick last year, with the whole they gonna draft a defensive player. I'm like, no, they're gonna draft a quarterback, and they're gonna draft whoever the Panthers don't draft at the first pick in the draft. I thought they were gonna draft Darius Stingley. I thought I've always had an idea of what they would draft or what they would possibly sign and stuff like that, or hire from a coaching standpoint. This is one time I don't know what they're gonna do. Trade, draft, sign, whatever. I don't know. I have zero idea. Zero. I know you fellas know my name, man. Zero. I have zero idea what they're going to do. I have zero idea what they about to do. I really don't know. I have no clue. I have no clue. I have no clue. I have no clue, man. I have no clue. I have no clue. I have no clue what they finna do. I really don't know. I don't know. Me personally, what I would like for them to do would stay at 23, but you can't cry for spilled milk. Uh, at this point, I would like for them to trade for a Ayuk or T Higgins. I'm not really all that on Stephon Diggs, honestly. Like if he's here, I mean, cool, and I guess hey, roll with it. Like roll with it. You got C.J. Stroud, and just roll with it. I felt the same about like Derrick Henry and what's his name, what's the running back for the Packers that what's the Vikings? I forgot what his name is. I felt the same way about him. I didn't want the Texans to sign him. I wanted the Texans like once Joe Mixon became available, I was happy that I wanted us to go after Joe Mixon. Aaron Jones, thank you, appreciate you. Aaron Jones, like I didn't want Aaron Jones or Derrick Henry again. At the time, when it was going to be one of those two, or not get a running back at all, I would have took Aaron Jones, but it would kind of been begrudgingly at that. And the same thing with Derrick Henry. Like, I didn't want Derrick Henry, so when Joe Mixon became available, I'm like, oh, hey, cool. Joe Mixon's available. That's gonna be that's gonna be great. Uniform's gonna be the only reason. Uniform's gonna be and that's nothing too because they talk about the uniform's gonna be unleashed on draft. So that's why. That's why because they knew we weren't gonna have a first round pick. See these boys. See they knew they knew the Texans. That's why they now. That's why they're showing the jersey. Because I was like, why are they showing the jerseys on the day of the NFL draft? Like why are they showing the jersey? Like when I heard that last night, like why are they showing the jerseys on the NFL draft? It's gonna be the draft. Why do we care about the jerseys? Like, why y'all showing us jerseys on the NFL draft? Like, but so now we know because they're not gonna have a first round pick. What you think about Adams? I'm assuming you're talking about Devontae Adams. Great route runner. 2 years ago was the best receiver in the league. I don't know. I don't know exactly how much he has in the tank. Like to me, I feel like kind of the same way I do about Stephon Diggs. These guys will be like even though they won't be 1 year rentals, they're going to be 1 2 year rentals. I feel like they're 2 years at max that you get them at the level that you believe that you get them at. And I don't even know that you're going to even get them for that 2 years. I feel like you might get them for that year. Wouldn't surprise me at all if they come in, they come in and they don't look like what we used to see them look like in Green Bay or in Buffalo when it comes to Stephon Diggs. I could definitely see that. That's one of the reasons why I wasn't on the Mike Williams train. As far as signing Mike Williams. Now again, during this past season, when it was talking about possibly being traded, like before the season had started, because we thought Tampa Bay was gonna be bad. Same thing with the Raiders when it came to Devontae Adams. Definitely agree with it. I agree with it then. Because obviously you not getting any draft picks in. Hey, we pushing all our chips in. We seeing how the season going. We pushing all our chips in. Let's go win this chip this year. After the season, because again, that's why a lot of teams make impulse decisions during the season, and people trade for people for probably higher than their value actually really is, because it's in the season and teams are making impulse buys because they're thinking about this season. They're thinking about, hey, we're on the run to we're trying to run and make a win championship right now. That's the reason why Sam Bradford gets traded from the Eagles to the Vikings for a first round pick, because Terry Bridgewater gets hurt in training camp, and they feel like they had a good team. They feel like that they go make a run, so they gave him a first round pick for Sam Bradford. Well, we already know Sam Bradford, and with the Rams and with the Philadelphia Eagles, did absolutely nothing. But you still tend to give up a first round pick for them because you know why? Because teams are more desperate in the regular season because they feel like they're on the run and there's no draft about to come up. The season comes before the draft, so they feel like what they're going to do is go for a run. That's why. So again, if this is a mid-season trade, I'm for all this. I'm for all the what's his name the not Justin Jefferson's, but the Devontae Adams and Stephon Diggs and things like that last year would have been my guess. I was for all that, but now when we talking about in the draft and you got a young pool of draft talent that you can get cheap for the next 4 to 5 years, for 5 years if you draft them in the first round, I'd much rather go that route than go for Devontae Adams. Now again, now we talking about getting Devontae Adams. Now we talking about getting Devontae Adams for like a fifth, a fourth, or a fifth, or a sixth round pick. That's different. But if you talking about giving up a third or a fourth for Devontae Adams, uh, nah. Same thing with Stephon Diggs. Nah. Again, Brandon Ayuk and T Higgins. Me personally, again, just like I said earlier, then I hate to keep on going back to this. Me personally, like I said earlier, difference of opinion, because I my difference of opinion is I would prefer to draft those receivers that could be potentially at pick 23. Your Brian Thomases, your ads, your Xavier Worthies, and your Keon Coleman's, potentially Troy Frank. I actually like those pool receivers because, like I just said, you got them for the next 4 to 5 years under team friendly deals because they're still on a rookie deal. You don't have to pay them. You don't have to give up draft capital and stuff like that. Um, but and again, they might end up being more talented. But when you talk about Brandon Ayuk and T Higgins, these are proven commodities. We've seen them do it on the NFL level. We've seen T Higgins have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. We've seen Brandon Ayuk have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. And this past season, Brandon Ayuk had 1,300 yards. So we've seen this. So and again, and I can see that situation. Of, okay, hey, look, we want to go with a proven commodity for C.J. Stroud because we feel like we can make a run. We ain't got time to wait on no rookie and see exactly what he gonna do. And see, like as if it's buying a used car, see if he gonna pan out or not. We know these guys can go play on the NFL level. They can get off jams. They can create separation on the NFL level. They can beat one-on-ones. They can go out there. They can play. They can make contested catches. When the chips is down, you can look to them on fourth down, third down, stuff like that, and key major and game changing, game winning situations. Again, I might even disagree. I understand it, and I actually like the thinking. So if that's the case, I'm cool and I roll with it. Again, obviously we got to roll with anything, even if they, whoever they draft or sign, like we got to roll with it because it's our team, right? We just bitch and complain about it. But uh, again, I just think that again I keep on saying this. I don't know what they're doing. Me personally, don't like the move for several reasons. The main reason is that you did it on April 15th. I mean May 5th, March 15th. I'm sorry, March 15th, a month and 11 days before the first round. You don't know what's going to happen at 23. Again, even at pick 23, if you make this move, I probably still don't like it, but at least I understand you don't like these pool of players. You talking about you be mad if Xavier Worthy goes to the Chiefs. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs still draft Xavier Worthy. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. I do think they'll probably go. I think they still draft a receiver though. I actually think they'll still draft a receiver in the first round. I mean, first or second round. Cause they might wait to the second round, but I definitely think they still draft a receiver. Who knows? They might did. Hollywood could be an insurance for Patrick Mahomes. Hollywood might be insurance for Patrick Mahomes as far as like, hey, just in case somebody else feels like how you just felt, and like Buffalo, like, hey, no, we're not letting Xavier Worthy go to Patrick Mahomes, or Green Bay, we're not letting Xavier Worthy go to Patrick Mahomes, or that like just any team, the 49, if so, any team that's drafting above pick 32, say we're not letting Xavier Worthy go to Patrick Mahomes. So hey, we don't worry, Pat. We still got that fast guy in Hollywood. We'll take either another receiver or we'll take another position or we'll trade. So I mean, I think that Hollywood could just be an insurance blanket just in case they don't, just in case somebody jumps up or trades or drafts Xavier Worthy, so Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs don't get it. I don't think teams really operate like that. I don't think teams like, oh, I'm gonna draft this guy so the Chiefs don't get him. I think that's more so how fans feel, but also at the same time they could want Xavier. I mean, I'm just saying they might want. I can see another team drafting. I can see another team drafting Xavier Worthy before the Kansas City Chiefs draft Xavier Worthy. So I think Hollywood potentially more than likely was an insurance policy. I think that was an insurance policy pick. Honestly, I think that was an insurance policy pick. I mean, signing. Now we gotta wait to Friday. I mean, I'm pretty sure they do got somebody in mind that nobody's talking about. Brian Thomas might go to the Bengals. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we might not even get a resolution. We might not get a resolution until draft day. We might not. Like, who knows? We might be sitting here right. We might be sitting here right now with no trade, no signing, no nothing. And to your point, the Bengals draft a receiver. If the Bengals draft a receiver in the first round, that means that they have a plan for Higgins, and that means they have a plan to get rid of Higgins. They already got some a deal on the table, and it could be, it could be us. It could be us. Um, to me, uh, I think that's more so of a autocorrect because I hope that Nick Casario has a plan. There's a very strong possibility that Nick Casario, I ain't gonna say strong possibility, but there's a possibility. There's a possibility that Nick Casario doesn't have a plan. I hope that's not the case. If Nick Casario doesn't have a plan, I think we have bigger concerns. I feel like he does. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know if it's a draft trade or what. But I feel like he has a plan. I just don't know what the plan is. But there is a possibility that he does not have a plan. And if that does end up being the case, that's very frustrating and concerning because it doesn't matter how it ends up. Like you might not have a plan and it ends up in your favor. Case in point, Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon was never the plan. Like Joe Mixon wasn't the plan, and Joe Mixon wasn't the backup plan. Obviously, he couldn't have been. Joe Mixon was on the roster. Like Joe Mixon was on another roster. Joe Mixon couldn't have been the backup plan. He couldn't have been the plan. He couldn't have been the backup plan because he was on the roster at the time that you got him. He just became available. Similar to what I said about Brandon Cooks in 2020 and in 2018 Honey Badger. Neither one of those guys were part of the plan. They end up being the solution and end up working in your favor to a degree. Honey Badger worked in your favors from a mentality standpoint, a leadership standpoint. Brandon Cooks worked in your favor as far as he was talent on the field, and he gave you what 2,000 yard seasons. Yeah, he gave you 1,000 yard season in 2020 and gave you 1,000 yard season in 2021. So end up working out in your favor, but they wasn't the plan because they wasn't available. Like they weren't available. Like they weren't available. Honey Badger got cut like a month after free agency began, and same thing with or a couple. It might have been not been a full month. It might have been like 2 weeks after free agency began. Brandon Cooks. It was a month after the Hopkins trade. Literally a month after the trade. So Brandon Cooks was not on the table until a month later. Joe Mixon at the time when you were in the means for Saquon and losing out on Swift and losing out on Josh Jacobs and all, he wasn't part of the plan because he wasn't available at that time. Now he became available like 12 hours later, and then ultimately he was able to make a trade a day later, but he wasn't available at the time when you missed out on your primary running back free agent. So again, it could be a situation where it ends up being a IU trade or what you call it trade or Stephon Diggs, not Stephon Diggs, a T Higgins trade. It could end up working it out in your favor and end up being those type of moves and being those type of trades. But the thing is, I don't know if that's but it might not have been the plan. It could work out in your favor and work at that's the solution, but it might not have been the plan. It might have just been like a way it would end up happening, would end up becoming available because it just ended up happening, becoming available. So
Very frustrating to give up first round when you can get some very good elite players in the draft. But Nick, Serio,
I mean, there's a potential that he could. There's a chance that he has a plan and this plan just completely falls apart, or could potentially just be a bad plan. Like general managers, head coaches, quarterbacks, owners, people at regular jobs, people in regular day life make bad decisions all the time. It's all the time. Like we make bad decisions all the time. Like it's constantly times that we have a plan or do something and it's stupid. And we don't realize it's stupid while we in the mix of doing it. And then after we do it, like, that was dumb. Why did I do that? Like, and this very well could be one of these situations. I hope it's not, because again, I'm a Texan fan. So I want the Texans to succeed. Wherever this plan is, I want it to work out in the Texans' favor. I don't want to be right that bad, or oh yeah, I want it to fail so I can point back and be like, see, I told you we should have did that. I told you it was dumb. I told you it was stupid. I don't want that to be the case. I want whatever it is happen. I want whatever happens works out for the Texans, so we can win a championship. That's what I want. I want the city of Houston that hosts the Lombardi. I want the Houston Texans to win a Super Bowl. That's what I want. So I want it to work out wherever it is. If it's drafting 20 linebackers, drafting 30 receivers, drafting the kicker and the punter. Where I want it to work out wherever it is. I want it to work out to the maximum. I want it to work out. I don't know if it is though. I don't know. And the thing is a very possibility. There's a possibility that it might not work out. It's a possibility that it might be a bad decision. It's a possibility that it might just be the most stupidest thing ever. It might end up in a situation it could potentially be damn near a fireable offense. Because you can't just lean on your morals that, oh, we drafted CJ and Willie Anderson. Okay, a broken clock is right twice a day. Like, I mean, we've heard this saying multitude of times. We were like, there's a chance that you could just not be good at your job. I'm not even saying that that's the case, but there's a possibility that it could. It's a possibility you could be too cute right now. That you're trying to be too cute. You're trying to be, oh, I'm gonna play 3-5 dimension chess, and I'm gonna be able to, I'm a Jedi mind trick everybody because I know what's going on because I'm the smartest person in the room. There's a possibility that's going on. I'm not even saying that that's the case, but I am saying there's a possibility. It's definitely could be a possibility. It might not be the case, but it's definitely could be a possibility. So
watch Nick C call in a favor and package something to move up and get Harrison
in return here, man, y'all talking pipe dream. I seen that earlier. Somebody said, man, that's a pipe dream, bro. Michael Harrison Jr. I said Michael. Marvin, I don't know why Michael came from. Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going top 4. He's not going past the Arizona Cardinals at 4. He's not. He's not. He's not going past the area, and he's damn sure ain't going past the Chargers at 5. So he's not going past 5. Especially them losing Keenan Allen, he's not going past 5. So there's no way that the Texans can take these second round picks and jump up to a top 5 pick to get Marvin Harrison. There's no way. There wasn't a way that they could do it with pick 23. I've heard people talk about doing it with pick 23. It's not gonna happen. Now, we could be talking about them keeping that second round pick for next year, having two second round picks next year to bring in Abuka in next year's draft class. Because Abuka will come out next year. And we could be a situation we talking about that. That could be something. That could definitely be something. That's something I haven't heard and seen nobody talk about. That definitely could be something. That could definitely be a thing. That, okay, hey, we can also like, and it goes back to my point. That goes back to my point about maybe not valuing receiver at this juncture. That might be my to my point. That might be to my point like that. They don't value. They don't value receiver. They don't value they don't value receiver until at this point. They don't value receiver at this point. That could be that. Like it just very well could be that situation that they don't value receiver at this juncture, and they might wait till next year to handle that. See what Nico does. See give Mechie and Hutchinson another year and stuff like that, and potentially go and like they have ammunition in next year's draft to get Abuka. Now again, I don't know how deep that receiver class is, but they might not even need to be a deep receiver class. They might be targeting one player, and that's Ime Abuka, who's played with CJ and who CJ could definitely utilize. And then my bad, but they could definitely use CJ to go get a Buka and pair CJ back up with a Buka. So I mean, it could very well be that they don't value receiver in this particular draft. Again, I don't know what the receivers look like in next year's draft. I do know Buka's in next year's draft. And they might want to give, like they give Mechie and Hutchinson another year. I I I mean, not that I don't want to give him another year. I do advise against banking and counting on them. Like I feel like whatever they give you should be extra. I don't feel the same way with me and my with my Orlando Magic. Like wherever Jonathan Isaac gave the Magic, I feel like that was extra. I wasn't banking on Jonathan Isaac being the third best player on the team after we drafted Franz and Paulo. I didn't value that because Jonathan Isaac hasn't played a full season none of his career. He's like so I did like so anything he gives the Texans. I mean anything he gave the Magic, I feel like that would have been a plus. I'm not banking on it. That's the same way I feel about Mechie and potentially Hutchinson as well. That whatever they give us is cool. If they come out there and be a top flight receiver, that's great. Round of applause. Excited about that. But I'm not banking on that as far as the way I'm handling my moves, how I'm handling free agency, handling drafts, contracts, trades, and stuff like that. I'm not banking on them for that. I feel like, to me, I feel like that's foolish to bank on that when they haven't shown you nothing of yet to bank on. I feel like that's foolish. But they might feel like that. They might feel like that. Robert Woods in the fourth for Jazz. Boy, that'd be lovely, man. I want to trade Robert Woods. Man, you can cut Robert Woods and save $5 million, but they haven't cut Robert Woods yet. I think they feel like they fine. I don't feel like they're gonna cut Robert because you see that moving money. They cut some other receiver. They just move Sheldon Rankins contract. They are moving money around for something. They could easily cut Jimmy if they want to move around some money. Cut Jimmy Ward, cut Robert Woods, and save them salary cap. I think they save money also by Malik Collins by trade Malik Collins. I think they saved some cap space for Malik Collins as well. Like yeah, exactly. They restructured Shaq for a reason. Like so, but I'm saying they could have made cap space by cutting some of these other guys. I don't think that they want like they could save $9 million by cutting both Robert Woods and Jimmy Ward. They could save $9 to $10 million, like roughly around between $9 and $10 million. Obviously they don't value that like they don't value that $10 million that much because both of them on the roster. If it was just about moving some money around and making cap space, but they are making cap space for a reason. I just think they like both those guys. I feel like they like Jimmy Ward and they also like Robert Woods. Robert Woods is a good guy to help mentor the defense. I mean, mentor the receivers and get them acclimated with the system and stuff like that. So I feel like I feel like that potentially could be the situation. They need, so that's why they don't need to move around. That's why they don't. They up here moving around money for some reason. Again, T Higgins as of right now is on the franchise tag. His franchise tag is at 20 point 21 million. Say 21 million. His franchise tag is at 21 million. So if you trade for him, if you trade for him, you got to restructure him. If you trade for him, you got to restructure him. You just got to restructure him. Uh, you got restructure him and sign him to a long term contract. You don't want it to be like a what's his name, Larry Tunsil situation where you trade two first round picks for him and you got to sign him the following year. Now you got to make him the highest paid left tackle because you traded first round picks and you didn't get the contract done when you should have. So, uh, so they could be clearing cap space for that to make a deal and make a contract sign, clean up cap space. Because I think if you trade for him, unless you make a unless you give him a contract, you're gonna have to take on that $21 million for the what you call it for the franchise tag. And again, I don't think T Higgins is worth a first round pick, so a second round pick is on par for him. But my counter to that is you have to why you get to give up your first unless unless the Bengals said that 59 pick was too low, we'll take a second. But if you can come up with another second, and they're like, okay, we'll come up with another second and get a first. So basically, I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Because if you could say if you trade say if you trade a second and a third for T Higgins, that means you traded your first round pick for T Higgins and a few. So it means you traded your first round pick. Let's think about that. Hold on, wait. Let me think about that. So you trade your first pick to get a second this year and a second next year, and also pick 1 So say and also so say you trade your second that you got this year and trade a future third for T Higgins. In essence, you would have traded your first and next year's third for T Higgins and a future second. It's actually not bad because basically you basically trade your first for T. You could look at it as you trade your first for T Higgins, and you also picked up an additional second for next year. So basically you trade your first round pick straight up for T Higgins, and you also you trade your first you traded your uh don't 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 do that. Hey man, don't do that about Drake now. I just think that nah, don't do that, bro. Don't do that. Trading for Higgins makes no sense now. I mean, it might. I mean, I think it could be a solution, but again, if they it would have been like trading the first. You basically been trade. You basically if they trade a second and a third for T Higgins, basically what you've been doing, you would trade your first and your third for T Higgins and picked up a future second. So basically, you take your third and you move up into the second round, and you also pick up an additional you also pick up an additional second. And you might do it for this year. Honestly, you might do it for this year third. So basically, you gave up your third for a future second. So basically you swap your third for a future second, picked up a 6 round pick which you didn't have, and moved T Higgins for your first. If they trade a first, so if they trade and I think and again and the thing is like AJ Brown, who had way better production with a bad quarterback with Tennessee is went for a first and a third, and they went for a first and a third. I mean, yeah, I think Teague is on par with that. Teague is on par with that. That's exact. AJ Brown. I think we just found it. T. Higgins and Nico plays all very similar. Yeah, they are. They are, but who knows? Maybe CJ likes Nico. I mean, likes T. Maybe we just draft. I mean, we just traded for what's his name? Joe Mixon. Maybe Joe Mixon and CJ been cooking. I don't know. Like again, it's all speculation at this point. It's all complete speculation at this point because you were absolutely right. They are definitely they are. I don't know. I don't know, but that could be a possibility. That could be a possibility. If you trade a second, if you trade a second or third, however you slice it, this year's third or next year's third, you for T Higgins, that's on par with what AJ Brown was traded for. Even though AJ Brown was going to a first and a third, AJ Brown was more productive in a worse situation than T Higgins ever was. AJ Brown, uh, was he a second team All Pro in Tennessee? I know he was a Pro Bowler. I think he might be a second team All Pro in Tennessee, and again, T Higgins' best year is 1,093. So T Higgins is not going to be garnering a number one overall pick. I mean, first round pick. He's not going to be garnering a first round pick. So, like I said, I could definitely see that being the case because he's not going to garner a second. He's not going to garner a first round pick. He would garner a second. And basically, what you did was because the if you would have offered a first and a third to the Bengals, no, okay, I think I might have made sense of it. If you called up Tennessee, if you called up Cincinnati and offer a first and a third to them for T Higgins, they would probably just take that straight up, but you don't get anything out of that. So you move back and pick up a six, which you don't have this year, an additional second, and then obviously the second that you get in this draft, take that second, take the third, and call up Cincinnati and see if they take that straight up. Maybe you might have to throw in a 7 round pick for a sweetener. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe you have to trade in the. Maybe you give them a future pick. Maybe you give them a future fourth or something. I don't know. Maybe you give them a future fifth or something. I don't know. But I think I might understand now. I again could disagree, but I think I might understand now. I think I might understand now. I do. I think I might understand. I think I might understand now.
Let's get Tyreek Hill.
I know, right? Let's go get Tyreek Hill. We should do that trade for Brandon Ayuk. Hey, again, and the thing is, both Ayuk and T Higgins both know the offense because I mean, obviously Ayuk comes from the 49ers, comes from the 49ers, so it's same exact system. T Higgins and the Bengals run the same system as well. So again, it doesn't take a lot to get used to for the system. It's going to be a very seamless transition.
Cut Robert Woods.
It was like cut Robert Woods.
Again, I don't know. Maybe for safety,
Justin Simmons, Quandre Diggs. Uh, I don't know. They trading for a safety. I don't see them trading for. I don't see them trading for a safety.
I don't like I said, it's
Like I said, I'm in a lost for words. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what they're gonna do. I really don't know what they're gonna do. Trade a fourth for Mike Evans. I don't know what they're gonna do. I really don't. I want to trade for Snead, but I don't know. I, it's so crazy because I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to draft, trade and draft. I don't know. Like it's kind of hard to get a beat on. It really is. It's really hard to get a beat on what they are going to do. I really am at a loss for words because I don't know what they're going to do. Uh, Wait for the two for the race. Wait for Henry Ruggs. Hey. Wait for Henry Ruggs. I mean, I think what he got? What 10 years? Did he get 10 years? He got life or something like that. I don't remember what he got. I don't even remember what he got. Like either 10 years. Like I don't know. He got something crazy. So I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, my bad. Nick is from the Patriots. Oh, he wants McConkin. McConkin. hey, hey. He's definitely somebody you'll get in the second round. I mean, he could. Uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. Like that could be an option. Would y'all be mad if we traded our second? Yeah, for Keenan Allen. Why Keenan Allen doesn't. Why he just got traded for a fourth? Why would we give up a second round pick to get him? That makes no sense. He can run some routes. I I don't know. 3 to 10 years. Yeah, I thought it was either 10 or it was life. I didn't know it was 3 to 10. I doubt he get out in that three. I doubt he get out in that three. Like, I don't see him getting out in that three. So we'll see, but I doubt he gets out in that three. Uh, I don't. Yeah, I doubt he get out in that three. I just do. I doubt he gets out in that three. Yeah, Chargers wide receiver one. It really is Quentin Johnson. That's what they're gonna draft. They're gonna draft Malik Neighbors.
That's your fault.
What's good, Chris? What's good? What's good? What's good, Kinfolk? Yeah, like I said, that's why I think the Chargers are gonna draft either Malik Neighbors or if for some strange reason the Cardinals don't draft Marvin Harrison at pick four, they draft Marvin. They'll draft whatever receivers that out. Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison, are wrong. Like which whatever they'll draft one of those three receivers because I could. I mean, who knows? They might like Rome over Malik Neighbors. I don't know. I wouldn't, but they might sign in D Hop. I mean, D Hop's not free agent. D Hop is on the contract. D Hop is on the contract. And the thing is too though, there's another thing too about the T Higgins trade. Like I said before, T Higgins' best season is 1,091 yards and 6 touchdowns. Well, I think 76 catches. Nico's had 80 catches for 100 for basically 13 yards. He was 3 yards shy of 1,300 yards and had 8 touchdowns. If you bring in T Higgins and then give him a contract extension, are you going to let Nico walk? Are you going to franchise Nico the following year? Or are you going to be paying two receivers 24 plus $1 million? Because Nico's not going to accept a contract less than T Higgins. If you bring T Higgins on this team, it's just like when the Patriots traded for Stephon Gilmore and paid Stephon Gilmore instead of paying Malcolm Butler. Now, in hindsight, it was a fantastic move. Stephon Gilmore ended up being Defensive Player of the Year in 2019, while Malcolm Butler went on to the Titans and gave up a whole bunch of big plays and never looked the same that he looked in the as a Patriot. Well, really outside really that 1 year he had with the Patriots. So it could be it could be a factor some of that, but the relationship between both Malcolm Butler and the organization was sullied the moment that they traded for Stephon Gilmore and brought him in and gave him a contract. Because they traded for Stephon Gilmore and they gave him a contract, gave him basically Malcolm Butler because it was like, yeah, it was the year before Malcolm Butler was a free agent. Malcolm Butler played 1 year with Stephon Diggs, not Stephon Diggs, played 1 year with Stephon Gilmore. Yeah, he played 1 year. He played 1 year with Stephon Gilmore. Then that's the year the Patriots they went to the Super Bowl. They went to the Super Bowl. They lost to the Eagles, and then he ended up leaving. He ended up leaving, going to the Titans, and he obviously he was never the same. Gave up a whole bunch of big plays, especially when he played against the Texans and Will Fuller. Like Will Fuller was getting behind and beating Malcolm Butler in one-on-one coverage constantly. And the same thing with Amari Cooper, that Monday night game in Dallas. Amari Cooper was routing the mess out of Malcolm Butler. He was out there routing the mess out of Malcolm Butler on that Monday night game when the Cowboys at first got Amari Cooper. So it could be a situation like that that will sully the relationship because if you bring this guy in, same position as me, my season this year is better than any season he's previously had, and you give him this, I'm at least getting that, if not more. So I'm at least getting that, if not more. Yeah, Kinfo. He got 1 year left on this deal. Like he ain't getting no 2 year deal. Nico got 1 year left on the Nico's a free agent. He'll be a free agent next year. So that like if you do that, like hey, I'm not taking nothing less than we getting. So you talking about T Higgins possibly getting between 23 to 24 million because it's the market. It has nothing to do with his level of play. Is that he has put himself he's put himself in a different type of market. Yeah, yeah, and Nico don't got no 50 option. Yeah, you put him in a you put T Higgins in a different type of market because he put himself in a different type of market because he is getting 1,000 yards. He's making these plays and stuff like that. So he's not looked as like these other guys. I got to see what Michael Pittman made. Well, what was Michael Pittman contract? So somebody please, if y'all can, y'all go to, look up what Michael Pittman contract is, because it'll be somewhere on those T Higgins contract. That same draft class. T Higgins contract will be somewhere on par with Michael Pittman, probably even be more. So if you do that, Nico's looking like, hey, and again, don't let Nico go out there and have another type. One, Nico's not signed a contract before the season starts. And don't let Nico go out there and have another 12, 1,300 yard season. Now, I had two of them bad boys. And even if T. Higgins has a better season or just no, actually I put it, don't let him have a better season or the same season. Don't let him have the same or a better season than T. Higgins. Don't let him have the same or a better season than T. Higgins. He's going to look at you and be like, hey, you gave this dude this amount of money. We had the same season or my season better. And look what I did last year. So yeah, you gave him 24. I'm at least need 26. So are you really gonna be paying two receivers $50 million? 3 years 70, 46 guaranteed. So right at 25. Right at 25 million. If it's 3 years 70, it's right. That's right at what you call it? Because 20 would be 60. You add an additional 10, so yeah, 23 and some change. Yeah, so right. Yeah, so right. So 23 and some change. So yeah, so that's about right. Yeah, like I said, like 23, 24. Like I said, 23 and some change. So yeah, so 23 and some change. So yeah, 24 would be right there. Yeah, we could franchise tag Nico. That's why I think we're gonna do it anyway. But then, like, it's then you'll be like you could franchise tag Nico, and basically you be basically do the same thing that the Bengals are doing with T Higgins. You'll be doing that with you. You'll basically put Nico in T Higgins territory. You will. You basically be doing that. You basically be doing that. Now, what can help you is if you do that, hopefully, hopefully T Higgins is the number one receiver. Like hopefully, like to avoid that, you want T Higgins to look like he's the guy. Like you want T Higgins to have the 1,500 yard season, and Nico have like 11, and Tank have 12. Like you would want like Nico and Tank to be in that 11 to 12, and the T Higgins is 15 and 10. Like 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns. Like just overwhelming the number one guy, catches, yards, touchdowns, stuff like that. Bona fide number one receiver. That way, even though Nico was still ass for that money, you could justify, I guess, not offering it. I mean, I don't know. And that's way to think about. It's way to think about. But the reason why I think about it from him not accepting the contract is because if you trade for T Higgins, you're gonna sign him, and they've talked about extending Nico this summer. I don't think that they would extend Nico this summer if that's the case. I do think that now What if they extend Nico now and don't pay him 23? What if they extend Nico? And what if they give him a cheap deal? Like how you just said, 3 years, 70 million. Like what if they give him slightly under that? You know, and then they trade for T Higgins, and they give T Higgins a 4 year deal. What if they do that? What if they sign Nico first and then bring in T Higgins? Because in that way, they don't sully the relationship with Nico because Nico's already paid. But they also get T Higgins. And they could spin it as that was just the cost of doing business. I don't know. It could, like I said, it could be like I said earlier, very well that they just don't value receiver. I know a lot of us value receiver. We the ones who value receiver maybe more so than Nick and D'Amico and them. And possibly Bobby Slow. I have to imagine these guys in these meetings. I have to imagine like Bobby is in here because you got nobody on the offense except for trading for Joe Mixon, which you had to because you already lost Singletary. The run game wasn't that good when you had Singletary. Then you lose Singletary, so obviously it's gonna be worse. So you had to get Joe Mixon, and then you just retain and re-sign Noah Brown. So since they didn't go out and do nothing else, none of the like I said, and not was never linked to any of these receivers. I wonder. I wonder. I imagine that Bobby has to be in these meetings and I don't know. I just imagine Bobby got to be in these meetings. How do I feel about the Joe Mixon contract? Actually, I like it. I like it a lot. I liked it more yesterday than I do today because like now I'm in the space where I don't know what's going on, but in the space that what I at the time I thought I knew what was going on. I thought the uh, I thought the Joe Mixon contract was great because it helped you. You didn't want to put yourself in a situation where you got multiple guys coming up next year, and you might have to use your franchise tag. That's one of the reasons why I like the Dalton Schultz sign as well because people talked about potentially franchising tag Dalton Schultz. Well, if you would have did that, that means next year you would have been when Nico's contract is up. We just operated the mindset that Nico contract is up. Then he doesn't sign an extension. Nico contracts up and Dalton Schultz. You can only franchise one of them because you can only use a franchise tag once. So if they're both due free, you can only franchise one, which means unless you get a contract done, somebody's going to test free agency, and you have a potential of losing. We see how fast these guys went this past year. Now again, I think that some of them was letting them go and they wasn't in communications with them, but you don't want to put yourself in that situation. Put yourself in that situation. So the fact that they was able to get Dalton Schultz off the table, get his contract done, you need to worry about that. So if you need the franchise tag, you can use it. The same thing with Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is only going to be playing under a 1 year deal for like 2.5 million, has some incentives that would take up to three. Well, now what you done is because he would have been a free agent. Say Joe Mixon go out there and rush for 12, 13, 1,400 yards, has another 400 yards receiving, catches, you know what I'm saying, gets 10 rushing touchdowns, another 3 to 4 to 5 receiving touchdowns, a key part of the offense and keeping the offense going. If he's a free agent, that means now you have the franchise tag, but you can only use on him or Nico, which means if you don't get a deal done, one of these guys will be hitting free agency, and either you're desperate for a receiver or you're going to be desperate for a running back a year after you were previously desperate for a running back in free agency. So I like the fact that they got the deal done. I like the fact that they got the deal done. We don't have to worry about retaining a running back because he got extension, and now we have the franchise tag if we need it for Nico Collins. If he goes out and ball, if he goes out and has a great season, goes out there and balls, and we don't come to terms with a contract, we have the franchise tag in our back pocket. Not even saying that we'll use the franchise tag because the Texans might not use the franchise. The Texans will use the franchise tag as the Texans have only used the franchise tag twice since 2002. Been franchised in 2002. We've been franchised for 22 years. We've only used the franchise tag twice. That was in 2009 with Deontay Robinson, and then in 2019, which is Davion Clowney. Dante Robinson played under the franchise tag, and he left the following year. Went to Atlanta. Was never the same guy. Uh, and obviously, Clowney didn't play under the franchise tag as a Texan. We traded him to Seattle. He played under the franchise tag with Seattle. Left Seattle, and did he go to Tennessee the following year? Yeah, he did. He went to Tennessee, then went to Cleveland. Now he's been in Baltimore. Yeah, but yeah. So uh, there's that. So we've only used the franchise tag twice as an organization. I don't know, honestly, if the Patriots. I don't keep up with the Patriots. I don't know if under Nick Casario, the 20 years he was in New England, if the Patriots ever used the franchise tag. Like they might have. I don't know. I don't know. Uh, I'm not about to go in there and look. I can't because I can't think of anybody off top that they could have used the franchise tag on. So I don't think they did, but I'm not sure either. So I'm just I don't know. So I don't know how big Nick Casario is going to be on using the franchise tag. Um, he hasn't had to as a Texan because the Texans haven't had anybody worth putting the franchise tag on outside this year. Dalton Schultz. Well, this year Dalton Schultz and Jonathan Gennard were maybes, but they wasn't definites. It wasn't definites. Dalton Schultz ended up making more than the franchise tag. Uh, and Jonathan Gennard made less than the franchise tag because I think his contract was at 19 million. I think the franchise tag was at 20, so he made less than the franchise tag. Dalton Schultz I think made either a million or half a million more because the franchise tag for tight ends was either 11 million or 11 and a half, and Dalton Schultz ended up getting 12. So Dalton Schultz either made a million or half a million more than the franchise tag. So, like I said, I haven't really had this would have been the only year of usage, but they didn't need it anyway because they signed Dalton Schultz to extension without using the franchise tag, and then they just didn't. They didn't. I think they said they even the Texans weren't even interested in re-signing Grenard. So it was just they was just gonna let Grenard walk. They were done with it. So it wasn't even a use. So like they never really just had a need for a franchise tag. I think Nico would be a prime target to be franchise tag if they don't get a contract done before. So who knows? Who definitely knows. Yeah, I mean that's a small sample size though, bro. Like John Ross, who previously had the highest, John Ross, who previously had the highest, what you call it, the fastest 40 time until Xavier Worthy broke it. If you go look at his career, like catches, career yards per catch, I think he like averaged almost 20 yards per catch. But he doesn't have that many yards or that many catches. So, and then I know a lot of it came off that. I mean, his average got boosted up because he had that 75-yard touchdown, and he also had another big play. Not saying that Noah Brown didn't make big plays this season. I'm not hype about Noah Brown because I think at the end of the day, at best, he is a third receiver. At best, I don't even think he's a third receiver. He's a third receiver at best. So I mean, I mean, like I'm not gonna like they had that many yards. Like, no, he had that many yards. But again, they could be looking that they like what they see. Like they very well could. It could very well be that situation. It could very well be they like what they see. They completely like what they see. Could be that. Definitely be that. Definitely be that. Who knows? It could definitely be that. But we'll see, man. We'll definitely see. But like I said, I appreciate everybody that came through tonight. A good conversation. Like I said, I know like some of y'all like the trade, some of y'all don't like trade. Like I said, if y'all haven't checked it out already, go check out my poll on the community tab. Go vote. Vote like the trade. Vote don't like the trade. Vote don't matter. Vote you just trust Nick and y'all trust. I'm gonna have some more videos. Who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe we might have some news again in the morning tomorrow. Uh, you voted already. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate that you went and vote, man. Like that's very key. Like I say, like, share, and subscribe is very key because let people know when the channel's going live. I said I didn't. I wasn't planning on going live at first. Because I was out. I was busy. I was doing stuff. So I wasn't planning on going live. But I was like, you know what? I was going to just do a recorded video, but I said, nah, let me go live. Cause I would hate to do a recorded video and then say tomorrow make we make a whole bunch of trades or we get T Higgins or like then the video that I made would be null and void. So I just wanted to talk about the trade because again, like I said, I did not I did not know what they were doing. I wanted to make that clear that I did not know what they're doing. But so like I said, I wasn't planning on going live. Luckily, I did. I said y'all jumped in here. Y'all jumped in here quick. Appreciate all y'all coming through. But like I said, you like, sharing, subscribing. Anytime that I post on the community tab or community wall, make sure y'all like that. Make sure y'all share that. If I post a poll, make sure y'all vote and comment on that as well because it helps out the algorithm. So when I do go live, and I like I said, an instant like tonight, when I wasn't planning on going live, but I end up going live anyway, notifications get sent out to everybody because the way YouTube works, they want to see if the channel has traction and is active. If they feel like the channel is not active or doesn't get a lot of traction, a lot of engagement, when we post videos, when we go live, the notification will go out there. I'm pretty sure plenty of times you run across people who are live that you didn't know was live. Or somebody dropped a video that you didn't know they dropped the video. Like, damn, they didn't drop 10 videos. I only seen this one because maybe the algorithm was saying that this channel or whatever is not getting a lot of love, not getting a lot of run, so people are not interested. YouTube just feels like they're not interested. So man, if y'all interested in the content, y'all liking the content, y'all liking the channel, make sure y'all liking the videos, y'all subscribing, y'all sharing the videos, that y'all comment the videos. Just by y'all sharing it, just by y'all just like you can share, just you sharing it does just as much as you liking it and watching it. Honestly, like you putting it on Facebook if you got Facebook, you putting it on Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok or Twitter, just y'all doing that type of stuff and like sharing it like that or texting it to somebody like, hey man, check this out. Y'all doing that type of stuff definitely makes the YouTube channel seem active. Keon, yeah, Kenfo, hey, Keon is my favorite receiver outside of Marv and Malik Neighbors. Keon's my favorite receiver in the draft. I don't think he fits the team, but I would love if we draft Keon Coleman. I would be extremely excited because I feel like that. I feel like he is a star. I feel like he is a playmaker, and I feel like he's a star. He's a 50-50 guy, able to track the ball very well, jump out the gym, be able to attack the football at the high point. I feel like he is a absolute star. He has star written all over him. He's an absolute star when it comes to the NFL. Comes to being a star receiver. I feel like he's a bona fide number one receiver. And I would love if the Houston Texans draft him. I don't know if he fits what they want to do, but I would love if they draft him though. Hey man, shout out, what's up? What's up, Trill? What's the deal, Trill? You know what I'm saying? Make sure you hit that like button since you up in here, Trill. Make sure you hit that like button. Now, come on, bro. Don't do me like that. But like I said, yeah, hit the like button. Put it in all caps. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Trill, hit the super chat. No, I'm just playing. No, hit the super chat for real. But no, I'm just playing. But but uh, um, but like I was saying, the make like when y'all do that, the channel gets dropped up. The channel goes up. So make sure that y'all like sharing and liking and stuff like that. Just by doing that, notifications when I post or do anything, it gets sent out. So like I said, if y'all haven't got a chance, go look at that poll and go vote. Like the trade. Don't like the trade. Don't really matter, or you just gonna trust Nick. And like I said, I got videos playing. I'm gonna do a little bit more in depth. Like it's exactly what you could potentially get for some of these guys, like T Higgins, like Brandon Ayuk, like Stephon Diggs, potential targets or who they could be trade after if they trade after somebody. We don't know. Like as far what big move could be on the horizon for the Houston Texans. So that video might drop tomorrow, might drop Sunday. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Uh, I might try to get the recording it tonight. I don't know. I might get the recording in the morning. Who knows? But like I said, I was gonna record this instead of doing live. But like I said, I didn't want to record it and then tomorrow morning the Texans trade for somebody, and my points of not knowing what they're doing was null and void because now I know exactly what they're doing. So, like I said, I just really want to hammer that point home. I don't know what they're doing, y'all. I really don't. It restructures that makes a contract. So, yeah, bro, I get that. I know they restructured Shaq makes a contract. Like they move money around. They could have moved cut Robert Woods, who's a receiver, who if you cut him opens a spot for a receiver and also saves you an additional like $6 million, 5 to $6 million, and you can have got an additional 3.5 to $4 million by cutting not Robert Woods, but cutting Jimmy Ward. So you could got between $9 to $10 million between it's like 8 point something or nine, maybe even close to $10 million savings if you got rid of those two players. So they moving money around for some reason. I don't know what the reason is. I'm be honest with you right now. I'm gonna tell y'all right now for y'all who wasn't here earlier. I hope it is T Higgins. I'm cool with Brandon Ayuk too. I really don't want Stephon Diggs. 31-year-old receiver has a massive contract. And then the receivers in the second round, they cool and all. I feel like Troy Franklin's going to fall, and I would absolutely love if we got Troy Franklin. I feel like Keon Coleman could potentially fall too because he didn't run a faster 40. I just said he's my favorite receiver in the draft outside of Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison. So I will be elated if we got one of those two receivers. I mean, let's get. I'm ready to go. Legend cool and all. I'm sorry. What's his name? McClunky from Georgia, cool and all. I mean, okay. Uh, what's his name? Tez Walker for North Carolina, cool and all. Okay. Uh, um, what's his name? Was it Folk? The other receiver from Washington. He decent, but cool. Like these guys are cool and all, but like Troy, like Polk, that's his name, Polk. I don't know, I know if it was Woke Polk, something like that, but Polk, yeah. Uh, Troy Franklin and Keon Coleman. Troy Franklin and Keon Coleman for sure. I'm good. I would like them at 23, so I'm good with them. Like if they would have drafted them if they would have drafted them at 23, I would have been cool. So obviously they got him in the second round. I ain't tripping. Everybody else is cool. Hopefully, because I know a lot of people like Xavier Legend. I know a lot of people like Tez Walker. They cool and all. I need to focus more into them and watch more time and see exactly. But then it's kind of you like you kind of like make yourself force yourself to like something when you do stuff like that. You like kind of force yourself to like these people because like okay, this is what we're gonna be stuck with. So let me yeah, they cool. Yeah, like so I don't know. Uh I think I do lean outside Troy and Keon, I think I do lean Brandon Ayuk or T Higgins. Honestly, I do lean that way. And like I said, I'm not really like high on Diggs and like or Devontae Adams. Like I feel like those guys are 1 to 2 year rentals max. Honestly, I think you're gonna get the best out of them in the next 2 years, and then after that, they're not going to be like what you think or what they once were. So I would much rather go with a younger route. And like I said, you can go younger without like you can go younger. I understand. Oh, we want to go proven. You can go younger and go proven with the other guys, but with T Higgins and Brandon Ayuk. But like I said, I'm gonna break that down a little bit more and actually give you some of my other gripes with these other guys. I don't think Devontae Adams will get moved, but with the other guys. So with Stephon Diggs mostly. So I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna drop a video on that. Like I said, sometime tomorrow, maybe even Sunday. Who knows? But I hope I can get it done tomorrow and drop it early so that way if anything breaks I'll be on time with it. So, like I said, make sure y'all like, y'all share, y'all subscribe. I appreciate everybody that came through here with the love. Man, make sure you hit the like button if you ain't hit the like button already. Man, appreciate the like button. AD could drop to, but I wish AD could. I would love AD to drop to the second round. Uh, make sure you hit the like button if you hit the like button already. Thank you for everybody who did hit the like button. Thank you for everybody who hit the super chat. If you hit the super chat, man, appreciate that love, man. Hey, definitely appreciate that super chat love. Yeah, thank you for everybody hit the super chat. Thank you for hit the like button. Thank you for everybody watching. Like I say, if you haven't already, make sure you go and vote on the poll and tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Show you what you think. Money in the bank. I'll show you what you drink. Money in the bank. Hey, show you what you think. Money in the bank. No, but make sure you go in that poll. Make sure you vote and also drop a comment too. Don't just vote. Don't just vote. Drop a comment too because y'all before free agency about who y'all want the Texans to sign. Y'all did the fool on that vote. Y'all was vote. Hey, like over 1,000 people voted for Saquon. Over 1,000 people voted for Saquon by itself. Not to mention all the other people who voted in the poll. 1,000 voted for Saquon by himself. So y'all did. Hey, so make sure y'all go in there and vote. And like I said, hit the like button on it, and also comment on it too. Also comment on it too. Now, like I said, make sure y'all check out the video I'm about to post about exactly more in depth of what we could potentially do as far as trades and bringing in a veteran. But again, like I just said, y'all, I really don't know what they're gonna do. I really don't know. Like, share, subscribe, comment below if you haven't clicked that bell, get my videos. I holla.